You can't call someone who you disagree with or simply can't win an argument with a Nazi, a fascist, a dictator, a greatest threat to democracy in the history of civilization.
You know who else is out there who has the temerity, the gall, apparently the memory of a fucking goldfish that they don't know that video and audio exists, that we don't have screenshots of tweets and all kinds of evidence of them, that the thing they're decrying now, they're guilty of, maybe the most guilty of. Donald Trump is doing it. MAGA Mike Johnson is doing it. Mark Wayne Mullen is doing it. Tommy Tuberville, everybody's out there doing it. Oh, the left is so violent. I've never called for violence, ever. I've never been adjacent to calling for violence. They outright call for violence. And the other thing they do is call people fascists and act like that's the thing that causes violence. You can't call people fascists. You can't do that, says Don Jr. on Fox News. He gave this interview. I got two clips. One is just a doozy. One comes 50 seconds after the other. Remarkable. But let me just play this for you. This is Don Jr. talking about hate that has been fomented by the Democratic Party. And you can't call someone you disagree with, or you simply can't win an argument with a Nazi or a fascist, a dictator, or the greatest threat to democracy. You can't do that and not expect violence, he says. He whines impetulantly into the ether. But, let me say this. It's interesting that these people don't want to be called Nazis when, if you go to the Democratic National Convention last summer, I was there were no vendors selling Nazi swastika flags. There were no people walking around with a Democrat hat on and a Nazi armband. But you certainly see that with Donald Trump supporters. Men with MAGA hats and swastika armbands. Nazis just marched through the streets of Huntington Beach, California with their eulogy for Charlie Kirk. So if literal fascists are celebrating the life and contributions to our culture that Charlie Kirk brought, what does that tell you? Here's Don Jr. decrying political violence, telling you can't call someone a fascist. You can't do it, says Don Jr.
The hate has been fomented by those in the Democrat Party, and you can probably play hundreds of hours of those clips. It's coming from the media. Some of them are doing a quick course correction and probably scrub their social media feeds for all the things they've said about Charlie, myself, my father over the last few years. But you can't call someone who you disagree with or simply can't win an argument with a Nazi, a fascist, a dictator, a greatest threat to democracy in the history of civilization, and then pretend you had nothing to do with it when the more radical wing, and there does not seem to be all that much difference to me these days, takes up arms and tries to kill those they disagree with.
It's so ridiculous. First of all, hat tip to Mehdi Hassan for providing these tweets. He didn't give them to me. He posted these. This is Don Jr. This is the same guy who just said you can't call someone you disagree with or simply can't win an argument with a Nazi, a fascist, a dictator, a greatest threat to democracy in the history of civilization, and then pretend you had nothing to do with it when violence comes. You can't do that, he says. But he also says the Democrats will stop at nothing to push their political agenda. The party of Antifa has gone full fascist. This is truly disgusting. Fascist Democrats like Cuomo are openly reverting to their party's historic position in support of outright segregation and discrimination in America. Sad. We all know that rhinos are secretly happy about the indictment, but the fascist left won't stop with Trump. They're power hungry and will do anything to crush their political opponents. If we're ever going to save our country, the entire GOP needs to finally figure that out. And then finally, the fake news gets triggered whenever anyone dares to tell the truth about the fascist lawfare from Alvin Bragg and Joe Biden. What was that again? You can't call someone you disagree with a fascist. Is that right? Is that right? Don Jr., is that right, buddy? That's fantastic. You know what's great about this? This is, even for dumb shit Don Jr., this is remarkable. The clip you just watched of him, the thing that I've just been quoting over and over, you can't call someone you disagree with a fascist, 50 seconds earlier, not even a minute earlier, he said this.
Charlie and I spoke about this frequently, sort of the irony of the anti-fascists these days. They seem to be taking a lot of playbooks out of the fascists, out of the browncoats. I mean, if you don't agree with someone, kill them. I mean, that seems quite fascist to me. So, I wish we would stop calling them antifa, because there's nothing anti about their fascist tendencies. It's absolutely disgusting.
Come on, man. You can't be serious. He can't be serious because he's not serious. This is laughable. Not even a minute before you say you can't call people fascists, you called us fascist. And that we're taking, I love this. You love when you're trying to make an awesome point. It happens to me all the time. You're trying to make an awesome point and then you flub what you're saying. They seem to be taking a lot of playbooks out of the fascists. You're taking a lot of playbooks, pages out of wait, what? And then it's not brown coats. You're thinking of red coats from the American Revolution, dipshit. It's brown shirts. Don't tell me you don't know the history of the Nazis being a Republican, Don Jr. A lot of playbooks out of the fascists, out of the brown coats. It seems quite fascist to me, he says. There's nothing anti about their fascist tendencies. Maybe I need to break out my classroom aid one more time and provide what the definition of fascist ideology is. What are the hallmarks, the defining characteristics of fascism? Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Do a little preparation before I do and not just do it so off the cuff. Anyway, what do you think? Please subscribe to this program if you are not already. We are gunning down 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube, and a whopping, I'm trying to get to 10,000 on Facebook. So go follow us on Facebook. Make sure you're subscribed here. If you want to help support this work and help me tell the truth, help me broadcast to millions of people this message, I would appreciate it very much. For $2 a month, you could do just that. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it below the video on YouTube. Click the join button, become a channel member, or even better, you can go to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast and help support this work there. Not if you're on a fixed income. If you're on disability or you're on retirement, things are tight. Do not take care of yourself. Just make sure you're subscribed. We want to take care of one another. But if you do have an extra $2, think about helping support this work. Anyway, I love and appreciate you very much. I'm going to go make sure I don't have a red mark on my head from smashing my head. And be genuine. Take care of one another.